carry on with the calming series. And I've talked about lavender, I've talked about bergamot, I've talked about chamomile, and I'm actually going to talk about bergamot. That's actually what I'm going to talk about. So today, for Sunday, I'm going to talk about bergamot. Now, bergamot is called sunshine for the spirit. Now, it's kind of a controversial thing about sunshine for the spirit. I'm going to explain some things about actually how it can damage if you're in the sun with it, but I'm going to explain anything. So, bright yet calming, bergamot balances moods, reduces stress, and uplifts the heart. And it's actually why it's quite good when you ever want to use it in that way. Now there's a bit of controversy of where the actual term bergamot comes from. So some say it's named after the city Bergamo, but these oranges are very sour and they're not edible. They're not just unripe oranges, so they're bright green and they're very knobbly. You'll see these, so you can't eat them. So you can't eat bergamot. They can only be used for the skin to actually create an essential, and they're with a deeply scented rind. Now, but others state a mystery could be that Christopher Columbus brought it from the Canary Islands to Berga, the city in Barcelona. However, in Italian folklore, this known as the medicine was used for the treatment of fever and worms, especially for people after they've been traveling on ships. Now, bergamot is also nowadays is grown in a few places outside of Italy, in Africa, in the Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Morocco. Now, it's traditionally, bergamot was used in Earl Grey tea. Its oil is a bridge between calm and vitality. So actually, when you smell that sort of citrusy smell of Earl Grey tea, it is actually bergamot. Now, the method of extraction of bergamot is cold expression from the peel. So it's actually taken from the peel of that orangey type of look. Now, what I would suggest is you do two drops in a diffuser during meditation and it uplifts your mood. Yeah. It's also used for soothing and cooling, whilst ideal for balancing the body and mind. So the soothes the skin due to its balancing combination, and it's very good for oily skin while improving the skin tone, but it's also useful for eczema and psoriasis. Now, the aroma of bergamot oils acts as an antidepressant, which also can plus bring down fevers. If you dab or dilute it on cold sores and pimples, it works as an antiseptic. So in a compress, if you add 2 to 3 drops to cold water directly to the skin to relieve heat stroke or a fever, but after application, don't go straight back out in the sun. Why is this? Well, now a warning, when using bergamot, a chemical which is called bergamotine, so this happens, it's usually a higher when they use more alcohol in it, in the actual essential oil, if they've done it, can react to exposure to the sun. So the IFRA, the International Fragrance Research Association, state limited to 0.4% maximum for application in any remedy you create. So like chamomile, it has been used to relieve indigestion and to relieve the nervous system. And in TCM, it's been known to help as an antidepressant to remove stagnant key energy. So bergamot, would I recommend it to be used like lavender and chamomile for babies? No, because it's a lot more reactive. It is really what you do is an uplift. So it's really more useful for adults and uplifting people who are in depressive moods and so forth. However, bergamot, if you use it as a perfect blend, it really works well with equal measures of lavender in a massage. So actually, if you use lavender massage, and bergamot, you can really relax someone very well. And it's actually really good for them. It actually helps them sleep quite well. So if you put it in a diffuser, really useful. Also, the other thing is with bergamot, on very low quantities, it really works well with cypress, cypress is from the pine. Then you've got neroli, which is the flower from the orange. So obviously it's very interrelated. And then lemon balm and black pepper. Now, black pepper uplifts it with that because it helps the bloodstream. But bergamot is very good for uplifting, but you have to be careful that you don't overuse it. Now, another thing with bergamot you can use, and this is Neil Yard's recommendation, is you blending bergamot with either neroli, frankincense, or lemon. Now, I would say if you use neroli and frankincense and maybe a touch of lemon just to get the higher node, this is useful when you use this as a base oil, lotion, bath, or shower gel. Now, in the morning, I would say if you use that they say 20 mils. I think that's actually quite high, I think, personally. Bergamot, to me, if you're looking at 100 mils, I'd put like 2 drops in to make it like very low. And then I'd put about 4 drops of frankincense. And then neroli, I'd put about 2 or 3. And then lemon, I'd put about 5. If you do that in 100 mils of oil, to use it as an oil and use that in your hair, on your scalp, or use it in the bath, I think that would be useful. So very good uplifter, and that is the conclusion of that. Now, also, I think with lavender and chamomile, bergamot also uplifts them essential oils. It's really useful. So until next time, I shall speak to you for the new series coming next week.